Yo, this your boy EC22 of the Fairweather Fans channel. Man, first of all, I want to say to all those who reached out and sent their birthday wishes, man, I appreciate you. I thank you for all, as well as those of you who watched the videos of the cash giveaway. Football season start up. There'll be more cash giveaways. There's gonna be more fan engagement. Stick around. While you're here, like the channel, subscribe, get engaged by leaving comments. Man, I would definitely appreciate it. We just watched Terrence Crawford beat Earl Spence. So here's my thing. Those who follow boxing, those who know boxing pretty much betted on Terrence Crawford because of what we've seen down through the years. But those who don't know Terrence Crawford went with, they would say, the more known guy with Earl Spence. And a lot of hearts was broken and a lot of celebrities. I mean, you know, we saw that pretty much there's a lot of people who were rooting for Earl to win that fight, but it just didn't happen. You know, definitely here in the Metroplex, being a guy from Dallas area, yes, the whole city was hurt behind our hometown kid losing that fight. And in a way, he lost the fight. He got dismantled. Now, there's speculation that he wasn't healthy, still trying to get over his car crash, and there's a video that Terrence, an interview he did on Hot 97. Terrence Crawford had a lot to say. I encourage you to go watch that video to hear from Terrence Crawford's mouth himself and how he's been marginalized in this game of boxing. That's why I'm talking about it today. Terrence Crawford has let the world know, and if you still have a problem with it, it's on you. He is hands down the best welterweight in boxing, and I agree. Hands down. That's his thing. And watch the video, you'll see why. The media has chosen, in my opinion, certain fighters to tell us who to fault. Tank Davis, Earl Spence, at one time it was Danny Garcia, you know, the Manny Pacquiao, obviously the Floyd Mayweather who kind of pulled out and betted on himself. And we look at all the boxers, and I can sit around and name at least about 20 boxers, but that pales in comparison to all the professional fighters that boxing has to offer. And that's a problem. It's not like back in the 80s and 90s where it was just fighter after fighter, and we saw these fights. But then when it come down to promoting the fight, and I think that's where the state of boxing got right now, is because how these players are gonna get paid, how you gonna control that cash flow, how you gonna get the spectators to watch it. And this is where the media have to, there is no spot for boxing on ESPN. Only when big fights come out. If you watch ESPN, all these, it's always football and basketball that takes up most of the airways. And then now with this race for the playoffs, baseball may get thrown off in there, but at a highlight type of situation or when something big happens. But for the most part, most of our major sports channels is covering football, NFL, and NBA, which I have no problem with that. That's my niche as well. What I'm saying is that we got to give all sports platforms its equal due, especially when it comes down to these type of fights and fighters. Terrence Crawford should not have went under the radar. Terrence Crawford should not have been underestimated. Terrence Crawford has a guy who had to bet on himself, and now he finally at this age of his career, has finally now getting the energy and the support that he needs from the rest of the world. And always, later is better than never, but what's left for him in boxing? Earl Spence has a clause in his contract that we can do a rematch towards the end of the year. If not, Terrence Crawford can go up and wait and try to fight Jermell Charlo, or Jermell Charlo meet him at his weight class, we don't know. Tank Davis said he wouldn't mind fighting at 147, but Crawford said he is not going down to 135 to fight Tank Davis. So it's always this cat and mouse, this push and pull. But there are other fighters there, but they're not gonna bring that energy to boxing because we just don't know who the guys are. And that's the problem when it comes down to professional boxing. This weekend, we got Jake Paul fighting Nate Diaz. Jake Paul, a YouTuber, has made more headway in boxing, has brought more attention in boxing than professional boxers themselves, other than, like I say, the Earl Spence, the Tank Davis, and whoever Floyd wants to beat up next, you know. Tyson Fury, professional boxer, has turned down 2 opportunities to fight heavyweight professional fighters to go fight an MMA guy. This is what the state of boxing has come to. So when it comes down to making money for the individual players and individual fighters in those sports, it makes sense, right? You got to get the bag. But what are fans watching? The fans get the bag of the deal. The fans don't get to see a good fight. They don't get to see a good, fair fight. Now we tune in out of curiosity, but at the end of the day, it's like, what we're watching here. Like Jake Paul and Nate Diaz. I mean, Nate Diaz look out of shape. He don't look healthy. He don't look like he's into it. And you look at the younger Jake Paul, who's been trained by some of the best in boxing. It's going to be a complete knockout. But it's going to be a high-dollar fight because he's a YouTuber and he got all his fan base. Obviously, Nate Diaz got his fan base and people are going to watch it. But we're not going to watch boxing. We're going to watch 2 guys getting off there and one guy destroying the other. But it's a boxing match. I don't like it. I just don't like it. But it's your boy, EC22, the Fair with the Fan channel. That's my 2 cents, and I'm out.